on gaming time. Oh no!
Okay, so yeah, we're on a TikTok. We're on a TikTok, bro.
Yo, it's Salt. I ended last season as the rank 1 Black Panther, as well as held it for majority of the season. Now, before we get into the guide, there's a few things I wanted to talk about. The first being my settings. So my display settings are all pretty much default except the graphics, everything's on low. And my keyboard settings are pretty much the same, there's nothing too different about it. My jump has mouse wheel down as a secondary, and my melee is on side button. But besides that, everything is pretty much default. And then my crosshair, which you can copy if you want. I will also leave the export code in the description below. Okay, now next up is BP's basic abilities. Now, because this is more of an advanced guide, I'm not going to go too deep into everything. I'm just going to mainly talk about the important abilities to do with this guide. Now, the first is the spear, which is just a projectile you throw. And then when it lands, it creates an AoE. And anyone it hits in the AoE will take 50 damage and have a mark above them, as you can see here. Now, the next ability is just a dash. It's a 15-meter dash. And it does 80 damage, as you can see. Now, the thing about his dash is that every time you hit a target that has a mark, you reset your dash, right? As you can see, reset, but I hit him when he doesn't have a mark and it's on cooldown. Now, there's no limit to this, so every mark you take will reset your dash, and this is very important when it comes to this combo. The next ability I want to talk about is the ult. Now, the ult has a startup animation, as you can see. Now, at the end of the animation, it's going to do 150 damage to anyone in the cone. And then if I aim this way, it's not going to hit the person on the left, even though they're on my screen, because they're not in the cone. Now, this ability will mark anyone hit, and the ult will also reset your dash. Now, a recent change is that BP now has a 50% damage reduction on the startup animation of the ult, and I bring this up because this is going to be very important later on in the guide, when I show you how to take advantage of this to practice ghost dashing. Something else you may not know about Black Panther, your ghost dashes are much faster if you're holding a directional key, like W. Now, this is me using dashes without holding W. Now, these are the dashes while holding W. You can see it's much faster. Now, unfortunately, in the air, even if you're holding W, your dash will still be slower no matter what. Maybe in the future this can be changed, but for now, that's just how it is. So for those who don't know, triple dashing is throwing a spear to mark 2 or more people, dashing the first target, dashing through the first target and hitting the second target, then dashing back to the first target. This does 290 damage, so 50 from spear, then 3 dashes, which is 240 damage, and it should look something like this. I did say in my previous guide that triple dashing was more of a niche and flashy combo that shouldn't be used too much. This was because spear dash dash was much better, but with BP getting weaker and supports getting stronger, triple dashing has become more of a core combo for BP that's very important to have down. It's going to net you so many kills in situations where the only way to get a kill is triple dashing, and the reason this combo is so strong is because there's no downtime between your dashes. You throw a spear and you just dash 3 times. You don't have to kick or spear again, and with your damage boost, this combo will come in very clutch in the right situations. I'm going to straight up say that you're not going to watch this guide and instantly be able to triple dash. It's going to take some time and practice to be able to pull it off in game, but if you practice the things I show you in the guide, then you for sure will be able to start pulling it off in game, because triple dashing is nowhere near as hard as it seems. The hardest part of actually learning how to triple dash in game is just getting over the fear of failing in game, right? And I think I have a way of tackling that, which I will show later on in the guide. Alright, let's get into it. So I'm going to break down triple dashing into 3 steps, with the third step tackling the issue of pulling it off in game. Starting with the first step, which is the initial ghost dash, just like this. Now, if there's one thing you absolutely must take away from this video, it has to be this. Regardless if you're going to triple dash or not, being able to ghost dash like this with near 100% success rate is super important with how fragile BP is currently. He falls over to literally anything, so if you're not constantly ghost dashing like this, then you should dedicate most of your time into getting this down to the point where you almost never mess this up. Now, besides finding the situations to pull off a triple dash, the initial step is the hardest part of actually triple dashing by far, because the second step is simply just adding in another dash. It sounds very simple, but that's because it is that simple. If you're new to this, you're not going to be accurate with your third dash, which is okay. The most important thing is getting into the habit of recognizing when you proc your second mark and you have another dash, and then throwing out that second dash, right? You have to realize when you do the initial ghost dash that you're hitting your second target. That's all that matters right now. The accuracy of the dash will come with time and with practice, but just recognizing that you do have that third dash is super important. And the reason I say accuracy doesn't matter yet is because of the third step, which is throwing an ult out at the end of the third dash. This is because we're going to use the ult as a get out of jail free card so we can practice triple dashing in game without any fear of really like failing or messing up the combo, right? Because now not only does BP's ult reset his dash cooldown, it also gives 50% damage reduction on the startup. Even if you miss your target with a dash or you dash into a wall or something, you're still going to get a lot of value from the play by just ulting and then either ulting and dashing out or continue your combo and so on. I uploaded a TikTok almost a year ago now, and you can see towards the end of the clips that I'm always ulting because this is pretty much how I practice triple dashing at the time. And doing a triple dash into an ult still requires you to track enemy cooldowns well and forces you to ult in proper situations. The idea behind this is to simply build up confidence in triple dashing so you no longer like rely on the ult, right? Once you can comfortably hit triple dashes, then you can start focusing on accuracy and honing in on a target. Again, the most important part is just knowing you have a third dash and then throwing the dash out, right? You can see here in this clip, I'm honed in on the Hela here as my target, and that should be your end goal. You can also see here in this clip, where I go for a triple dash, but I mess it up and miss my dash. But it's okay because I use my ult to reset my dash, and that lets me get off 2 triple dashes instead of just 1. Before we continue with the guide, this video is sponsored by Exit Lag. Your ping and your latency is super important when it comes to rivals. I've lost so many games due to desync and lag, and sometimes my ability is just not working. But this is exactly where Exit Lag comes in. Exit Lag aims to keep your connection as smooth as possible with your multipath technology, which sends your connection through multiple routes and uses AI optimization to always pick the fastest and most stable route. Now this is my ping before Exit Lag, and this is my ping after. Exit Lag has 1500 servers spread throughout every single continent, so regardless of where you are, you can count on Exit Lag for a strong and stable connection. They also offer many tools to reduce input lag, and even have an ultimate performance mode to boost your FPS. You can try out Exit Lag right now with a 3-day free trial, which you can claim by going to exitlag.com or scanning this QR code. You can then create your account, hit download, install, and you're ready to go. You now have access to Exit Lag's library of over 3,000 games. Now all you have to do is pick your game, hit the switch, and it's that simple. Exit Lag is currently offering a huge 50% discount on all annual plans, where you can purchase a full year for just the price of 6 months. So I highly recommend you to try it out if you struggle with connection stability at all, and if you do, make sure you use code HAUNT. Again, big thanks to Exit Lag for supporting the channel, and now back to the guide. Unfortunately, there is no secret or tip that I can give you that will make you track marked targets better or chain more dashes. What I will say though is dashing to a big group of people makes it significantly easier to ghost dash, as long as you have the initial ghost dash or step 1 of this guide down. Now you can see here in this clip, right when I'm about to throw this spear, I know that these 3 players are going to get marked, so if I dash towards the Atom or the Emma, these 2 marks on the left aren't going to disappear. So all I have to do is flick to the left, right? Which is where step 1 of the guide comes in. I know for a fact that I'm going to hit this dash on the left, so that will give me at least 1 reset. Right, now that's my 1 reset. So all I have to do now is flick back, like I said in the guide, and throw in an extra dash and then ult. Which is exactly what I do, and it simply wins us the fight. Now this clip is also an example of what could have been a quad dash, but I was really fixated on just triple dashing and ulting, so I didn't notice I got a 3rd dash reset. Araco is also an amazing map to practice ghost dashing when you're on offense, since everyone usually holds this high ground right here. Even if they fall back like you see here, the marks are way behind. They're still on the high ground, which is still a straight corridor pretty much. So if you have the initial ghost dash down, it becomes a very easy triple dash angle.
I'm in the hole. Okay, we have the worst synchronization ever. What the fuck?
Now as you practice more and triple dash more, your dash accuracy is going to get good enough to where you're going to look to target individual marks in large groups, which is what's going to allow you to chain 4 or more dashes together. But that about wraps it up for the guide. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. As always, I'll read every single comment and try to answer any questions. If you hit any sick chain dashes after watching this guide, please tag me on TikTok at HauntMR. It'd be really cool to see, to be honest. But yeah, I hope this guide helps you practice exactly what you need to triple dash, and thanks for watching.